Today, we will be exploring the topic of subcultures and why they are so important to our deeper understanding of culture. The members of my group include Raina, Kellyanne, Nolan, and myself, Cody. We are all sociologists who are trying to better understand subcultures. Okay, so before we begin, let's define a subculture. A subculture is separate from the mainstream culture. It has its own unique values, practices, and beliefs. These values, practices, and beliefs are at variance with those of the larger culture. Some examples of subcultures include skateboarders, dancers, health enthusiasts, and druggies. Some of these subcultures undermine the dominant culture, such as druggies, while others act as a positive addition to the dominant culture, such as health enthusiasts. So, who could possibly benefit from learning about subcultures? Well, in short, everyone. One reason it is so important to study and observe subcultures is because it is critical to differentiate which subcultures and groups of people are challenging the dominant culture as opposed to those whose values, practices, and beliefs either benefit or cause no harm to the dominant culture. Sociologists study and observe subcultures to deepen our overall understanding of culture. Our culture as a whole is made up of an infinite number of subcultures. Therefore, to better understand culture, we must understand everything that it encompasses, which includes subcultures, those who live life differently than the majority. My fellow classmates and I decided to act as sociologists in order to better understand the culture on campus at IVC. Therefore, we began to study and observe the subculture of international students. I personally found that people, myself included, have a tendency to think that a significant amount of students on campus are international students. I was surprised to discover that only 5% of our students are international students. While searching for information on international students here at IVC, I noticed that IVC cares a lot about international students, especially when it comes to their ability to socialize and integrate into the dominant culture. IVC believes that these students add to the diversity and experience for all other students on campus. Therefore, I decided to go out and get some feedback from these international students in regards to how they perceive their culture and how they feel about their group in relation to the mainstream culture at IVC. I sat down with Haley and Jenna, two students from South Korea who are both majoring in business administration and who hope to transfer to a local four-year university. After I explained to both students what a subculture is, I asked them if they felt there exists a subculture of international students on campus. They agreed, yes. I asked them if they believed to have a different set of values or religious beliefs than those of the dominant culture. Both Haley and Jenna are practicing Christians. They attend a Korean Christian service 5 minutes from IVC on Sundays. The two ladies I interviewed are best friends, so to assess whether or not a subculture actually existed for international students, I asked them if they tend to hang out with other international students on campus. They both nodded in agreement, thus confirming that the subculture of international students does in fact exist. And they told me they hardly ever hang out with students who are native to the United States. Not because they don't wish to, but because they aren't fully... I asked them if they could identify what makes relating to and befriending American students so challenging. And Haley recalled that professors tend to make jokes that feel like inside jokes because they don't always understand them. The two girls I interviewed admitted that they've never been involved with international student clubs here on campus, but they said that the services that IVC provides in the beginning of the semester brings the international students together. Haley and Jenna spend most of their free time shopping, eating sushi, or walking around the spectrum with all of their friends. Haley and Jenna value friendship and education, and they were very happy and willing to let me interview them, which was very fortunate. But they were very uncomfortable with being filmed. I was denied an interview by at least for other international students because they were uncomfortable with the idea of an interview or the camera, or they were too busy studying. So, from this, I conclude that the international students value education and are much more reserved and soft-spoken than the dominant culture, at least from what I have gathered. Therefore, the subculture of international students at IVC does not undermine or challenge the dominant. Rather, it strengthens the mainstream culture by adding cultured international students who may share their experiences with native students who might not have otherwise been exposed to, thus deepening our understanding of culture.